talk about anything that basically a lot of folks are afraid to talk about. A lot of folks, it's uncomfortable for them. They just have a problem with talking about certain things, sharing certain things, relating certain things. Some people are not open enough. They're what is it? Their privacy is a big key for them. Some people what you call it, they are very private, and some people are easy to be ashamed. Shamefulness is one of their key issues. They're easy to get shamed. So we put it in Jamaica term. In Jamaica term, we say them just easy to get shamed, right? So um, I really try to bring the topics here that are difficult for people to talk about, to convey with each other. A lot of times people want to talk about things, they just don't know how to talk about it, they don't know how to relate it. And one of the things we understand that most men are poor communicators. A woman would agree with me on that. Most men are poor communicators, and so they say, so they believe, and most of the times, sometimes in some instances, in some cases, yes, it is. In other cases, the man just tried sometime to not hurt the person, or not say hurtful words that will create issues, create a problem, and sometimes they rather hold their tongue. And a matter of fact, men understand that when it comes to women, they just can't win an argument. I'm not saying some men don't win the argument, but when it comes to women, man, just simply walk away, because the more you say something, is the more she gets adamant, is the more she get upset, is the more she, so sometimes you just gotta walk away. Keep the peace, right? You gotta walk away. So you keep the peace, because the more you say something, is the more she just keep going on and on and on. Anybody understand? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, yeah. When it comes to women and arguing and so forth, the more you say something, the more you talk, is the more she just keep going. So sometimes you just try to just say very little, don't say nothing, you know. Sometimes you just want to keep your peace and just call it a day. And so that's what it is for most. All right, so tweet somebody for me, email somebody, instant message somebody, text somebody for me, and let them know that Minister Sterling B is on the air. All right, get locked in, get logged in somewhere, somehow. Hopefully, I'll get a few listeners today. Hopefully, I'll get a few of you to touch base with me today. Maybe to call in 516 255 6747. 516 255 6747. If you're international, you have WhatsApp, you can call 917 455 3072. 455 3072. You can call that number. If you got WhatsApp, send me a text, drop me a text if you out there and you're listening in. Maybe this topic, is not a topic for some folks out there, because well, you don't care. But all right, so let's officially kick it off. Let's officially get going with what I have here to talk about. I was speaking with a gentleman earlier, a good brother, a good friend, a good minister. Um, Elder Coffee, God bless you. Blessed good morning to you, Elder Coffee. All right, bless up, man of God. We are grateful to God for His blessing and His goodness towards you, my brother, as you continue to grieve the passing of your loved one, of your brother. May God strengthen you, my brother. May God give you peace in this time of great challenge, of great difficulties. So let me continue here relating some things. All right. Right after this song, I'm going to get right into it. Okay, here we go. This is DJ Nicholas. Got to play some of this for you all. All right, here we go.
The scriptures we preach to every corner of the world. Spread it out. And that's why we are preach them. You see them people that were hard for reach. You know what we are going to use to reach them. Facebook or Twitter. We are going to preach the gospel every perimeter. The enemy go run with rubbish and
All right, so there we have it. Yes, Facebook or Twitter. And this is what it's all about this morning. Facebook, Twitter, all right, Instagram, all of that. You all know all the social media platforms and so forth. But a child, how old should a child be before they can have a cell phone or own a cell phone? You see, cell phones and smartphones have taken over our lives today, taken over our time. Most people, they wake up with the cell phone, sleep with the cell phone, eat with the cell phone, drink with the cell phone, party with the cell phone, church with the cell phone, talk with the cell phone, um, die with the cell phone, bury with the cell phone. I mean, what is it that we don't do without the cell phone or with the cell phone? Almost every adult has some type of cell phone. Almost. Unfortunately, sorry to say that in India, we are still trying to get cell phone for some of the folks because that's the way that they are able to have services. In India, they are so poor that many of them can't make it to a church, and especially the church that's preached the truth to have services. And by using Zoom, they are able to attend service. So right now, I am online, and a lot of my ministry, a lot of the ministry I do, reach folks in various different areas overseas. And I'm grateful for those in India who are locked in with me. Also had the opportunity for some folks in Kenya. I did not embrace the opportunity to have a group in Kenya as yet. Hopefully, in the near future, I'll be able to have a group in Africa, in Kenya. Had the opportunity, but didn't like the way the minister was moving, so just called that a day. So all over the United States, we have various folks locking into the ministry, whether it be conference line, whether it be the radio station broadcast. So we have the cell phone use in that manner, and millions of adults use them daily. And I mean, when you go to an event, you see cell phone like crazy. Oh, everybody got a cell phone light up, the artists love to see the folks say, "Turn on your light, turn on your light." This guy, what his name, Kevin Dunswell, "Turn on the light, turn on the light." So that's catching that caught on because many years ago, before cell phone was so popular, when cell phone first came out, we were able to use a cell phone as lights. What was it? The lighter part, the flashlight part of the cell phone, the flashlight or the flashlight. How we call this now? The cell phone is a device, and you have the embedded flashlight in the cell phone, so you were able to access that and turn it on, and you were able to let me see if I could do that here from my end, and you were able to use that as a form of light. So they did that. Now before before that, what was it that were being used was flashlights, right? So here we go, turn on the light. So now people, they have the light on the cell phone, and they just turn on the light. There you go, and you see a whole lot of people waving and going like that, and just enjoying themselves. So you don't have to worry about a lighter. I remember back in my early days when I was roaming the world doing my little thing, going to parties here and there. We buy a lighter. We didn't smoke, but we just buy a lighter, carry the lighter with us, and because we wanted to to use it when the DJ say lighter. You take out your lighter and you put it on and you start flash lighter and you light. So that was fun for folks back in the days. Unfortunately, um, things got bad and got out of hand in some places where people use these lighters and light up the place literally and burn down the place. So they don't want that to happen no more. But anyway, most folks, because you didn't smoke, you borrow a friend lighter or you buy a lighter when you go into the party and you just light up the place. And that was fun back then. So nowadays, today, you don't have to worry about going out and buy a lighter because the flashlight is on your phone, and you just use your phone flashlight and you go and you swing it back and forth. And the artists loved it when they're on stage and they see you light up and they love it. And we saw that the other day at the stadium of Jamaica Independence. We saw them did that. We see and many other events we see when they turn the lights down, the phones come on and they light up the place. I remember back in the days also when I was attending business function and we entered the Coliseum, 25,000 people in the Coliseum, 15,000 people in the Coliseum. Lights would go down dim and you see folks would light up the place with their cell phone lights. And it was great time, good fun time. So cell phone has come a long way. When cell phone started out, it was big gadget, big something we have all kinds of cell phone. As a matter of fact, I had samples of cell phone that maybe I think I got rid of them. I used to, as a technologist, I used to save the various devices, and when they go out of style, I would still have them store it up for even time like this. I should have them now to show and to present them, but it got inconvenient for me. A matter of fact, some of my things are in boxes right now as we speak. They are in boxes right now. So as a technologist, when I was teaching, I would bring out these various devices as props and examples for the students to see the advancement or the advanced technology, and so we'll show a timeline, and it was very effective in props. Now today we have children, they just come out of the womb. I mean, less than 1 year. If you give that child a cell phone, less than 1 year, that child will use a cell phone as a toy, and eventually you see the child accessing certain things on the cell phone. Now, granted, we as parents give the child a cell phone to keep them quiet. So let's be for real, right? Number one, we give them the cell phone to keep them quiet when we can't bother. When a parent cannot worry themselves, bother themselves, pay attention to the child for whatever reason it might be, not going into the various different reasons, maybe yet, or maybe we talk about the various reasons a little later on. But the parent will give the child the cell phone, okay? And why? Because the child would be still with the cell phone, or whichever how we want to put it, right? So um, we get used to giving the child a cell phone in churches. When we go to church services, we see a lot of children line up in the benches with cell phones and so forth. All right, so we have all of this going on at the same time. The minister is preaching, the teaching is going on, and the cell phone is what keeping the child at bay. All right, hopefully you're hearing me clearly. Hopefully you're hearing me real loud and clear. All right, so I'm going through all right on the radio platform. I know I'm going through okay on the media platform. I'm getting a solid um, indication right now, a solid indication. Okay, so I know you're hearing me loud and clear out there. All right, so now all I need is to create some interest, to create some audience, and we're ready to go. So, hey, listen, I thank you for locking it in. Those of you who are and wherever you are, you're locked in. Maybe I cannot see you. Maybe I don't know that you are there. But if you are there and you're hearing me, I welcome you. It's Sterling in the morning. Welcome, Sterling in the morning. Right here, we have Real Talk, and we are talking about the phone, the cell phone, and children. So I was having this conversation with a gentleman, or with a brother, a minister earlier this morning, and this topic came up. You know, the cell phone with the children. So um, this guy, DJ Nicholas, did a song a couple years ago, and he was um, speaking, singing about the various means of social media and so forth. And the name of the song is Facebook or Twitter. Now we know today Twitter is X, it's formerly known as Twitter. So hey, listen some more. Here's some more of this song right here.
We are going endure till the end. We are no quitter. Gospel will we deliver whether Facebook or on Twitter. We are go preach the gospel every perimeter. The enemy go run with rubbish and a litter. We are go endure till the end. We are no quitter.
Yeah. So all right. So he's singing about the various social engine, the various social platforms, and you know, it can be good, it can be bad. Can be good, it can be bad. So let me go into the heart of this: children and cell phone. Now, number one, it's a status. It's status for the children to have a cell phone and to have an iPhone. If a child have if a child has an iPhone, it's a status. Number one, it's status for the child. For a child to have a cell phone or to own a cell phone, it becomes some form of status, right? What does that mean in terms of a child, depending on the age of the child? Because now we talk about status, but then we have to look at the age of the child. Is that the status is really the age of the child, or yes, the age of the child determines the status of the child in terms of cell phone, what type of cell phone they have. If a child is this age, like this little baby right here in my photo up, then it doesn't matter to the child. It doesn't matter. It's not like a big deal, because the child doesn't understand anything about status at this point, right? The child doesn't understand anything about status, so that's not a big deal for the child. But however, when the child gets to age group like this now, then it becomes an issue. It becomes status, right? So when the child gets to the the age group where they are old enough to understand the value of the cell phone and the style of the cell phone and the type of the cell phone, it becomes a status to them, because to own an iPhone, it shows that you have a high status. It shows that your parents have money, and it's not that your parents really have money. Your parents make a lot of sacrifices to get you an iPhone. But if you have an iPhone, it shows that you're in a certain status quo. If you have an Android phone, it shows that you're in another or a different status quo. So cell phone is what we call a status for the child, for the children. All right, and then when they get to let's say pre-teenager age. All right, so let's look at it from the pre-teenager age. They start to learn about status from the pre-teenager age. So when we talk about pre-teenager age, we're talking about children that are um, younger than 13. So if the child is younger than 13, they are in what we call the pre-teenager stage, which meaning that they are developing into teenagers, teenagerhood. They are developing into being teenagers, but they are not quite yet teenagers. However, they are still young enough to understand what status is. And so it can be a status quote in school. When they go to school, they might have a group that's all all iPhone people, only iPhone students or iPhone associate or iPhone. What's the right word I'm trying to say? Um, oh my goodness. I don't like to use the word kids. I'm getting away from using the word kids, so I try to use the word children, child. But in school, you have groups where they'll form their own little groups, and and the group they form with peers. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Peers, right? So their peer group would have a status, and the peer group only folks with iPhone can join this group, or only folks with smartphone can join this group, or only folks with certain kinds of phones can join this group and be a part of this group. And so you have in the various junior high school where these groups are being formed, and the girls are sharing back and forth with so forth. So that's where it comes with status. And then when they get to even high school, it's even worse, right? Because they are more knowledgeable, they are more experienced, and so they have this status about themselves. And there's nothing wrong with status, but then when you take it to another level, such as initiation, you got to be initiated in order to join this group. You got to be qualified to join this group because we are exclusive, and you don't meet the qualifications, so you can't be a part of this group. So then other students feel left out. Other students feel what we call embarrassed. Other students also pressure their parents to get a certain type of phone for them because they want to join this teenager group. So that's when we talk about status. Let me see if I can. So we talk about teenagers now, right? Teenagers a little more. Let me see if I can find. Okay, hold on. All right, so not necessarily college yet, but high school. So here we go. When they are at this level, this is high school. You see everyone has a phone, and during the lunch break they're on the phone, and most of the time it is a time for them to play their games, communicate with each other. So children on cell phone, it's a status thing. Number two, it's convenient. All right, for conveniency. What do we mean by conveniency for them? Um, Conveniency for them is the ability to get at it. It's convenient for them, easily easy access. Yes, in a sense, but we're going to talk about access a little later. But convenient means that it is just simply easily available. It's just simply easily available for them. They don't have to pay the bill. They don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi because there's free Wi-Fi and so forth. Convenient as well as getting their homework done, getting certain information when they need it. It's just convenient. They don't have to go to the library. They don't have to travel too far. The information is just convenient for them to get it. The phone itself is convenient for them. It's much more convenient for them with the cell phone than with a computer. Much more convenient for them to have a cell phone than to have an iPod or an iPad. It's just convenient in terms of the size of it, easily fit in their pockets. Whether it's going to be front pocket, back pocket, it's easily stored away for them, easily hidden from the sight of adults or others that they don't want to see their phone or to get their phone. So conveniency is very important for a child when it comes to cell phone. So number three, let's look at access. What is access for them? So in terms of the cell phone access now, the access to game, various kinds of games. They can easily play games on their cell phone. So they have all kinds of games that they can play on a cell phone. They can play games where they can battle each other. They can play games such as games that is geared for a child who is 1 year old. A 1 to 5 year old child can access game on the cell phone. Um, then on top of that, music. So the game is one thing, but then the music, access to music. They have access to all kinds of music. They have access to music that you don't listen to as a parent. You would not listen to as a parent, but they have access to it, to those kind of music. Sometimes the lyrics are inappropriate, but they are able to discard it. They are able to hide it because of the access that they have. Now there are restrictions that you can put on the phone, yes, but if you don't know how to put the restrictions on the phone, the child will learn. A matter of fact, the child won't be able to remove the restrictions, but the child learn how to trick you or how to fool you, so that even the restrictions you put on it, it's still not sufficient enough, and they're able to get access to the type of music that they love and want. Then the movies. There are certain kind of movies that you probably don't even want them to see. However, if they have access to it on the phone while you are asleep at night, they are up on their phone watching these movies, and it is not good for you, much less for even them. However, this is what they have access to: various kinds of movies. There are movies out there that maybe it traumatizes them. Movies out there that teach them things that you normally would not like to teach them. So you have them having access to these things. All right. And then fourth, we have connection. Easily connected. They have easy connection when they have cell phones. So children love cell phone. Okay. And even you as adults, you love cell phone because of the easy connect. You are easily connected to your others. You easily get connection to others. You're easily um, you can text others. You can speak with others, speech, and even photograph. You can share photograph. So the number one use of the cell phone is photographic use. You're able to share photograph with each other easily. And even secretly, you're able to share photographs. You're able to communicate with photograph as well. So we have what we call emojis today. So you're able to communicate with emojis today. Various type of emojis that says good morning, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good night, how you're feeling. So you have emojis that express feelings, emojis that express emotion, emojis that express, whether you're sad, you're happy, emojis that express whether you are unhappy with somebody, with something. So you're able to communicate with photos. You're able to communicate with emojis. You're able to communicate with high def neo pitch neo pics. Okay, you have neon pics as well. 3D shapes as well. So they are able to communicate with text. And today, I am not even as vast. I am still learning. The other day, I text a youth. He texts me back with initial WYM or W something. I don't know what that means. So I'm still not even knowledgeable with a lot of the text letters that they're using now. So instead of write out the entire sentence, they use letters. THN, like thanks. I learned that THN or THK is probably thank. I guess what it is. And then if somebody texts you a K, I know that K means okay. You know, so instead of saying okay, you just text the letter K, and that means I'm okay. That means okay. So we have examples like that. Talk to you later. You know, they might text to you TYL, okay, TYL, talk to you later. So I get to learn these little simple these little things, and I learn it from adults. I don't even learn it from the children themselves. I'm learning it from other adults that know these things. I guess I need to have my daughter teach me more of these things. Maybe Patrice, I gotta call you. You gotta teach me more of these things, right? How to how to how to interpret or to read some of the text that's been sent. We call it shorthand. All right, so folks who um, who are folks who are what folks who are knowledgeable are able to use this type of um, communication. All right, so um, let's go to this now. So once again, recap. You know the major reasons why cell phones are so popular with children. The reason why children want a cell phone. The reason why you are pressured to give them cell phones, to buy them cell phone, is simply because of status, conveniency, access, and connection. So you got to keep that in mind. Okay. Now, it should come as no shock to any parents or even guardian, even if your children will ask for their own cell phone or even smartphone. It shouldn't come to you as a shock. It's the wave of the future. It's the wave of now, currently now, at any age and at this age where they in this age, in this dispensation as well, they want to play with whatever you are playing with. So a child newly born and is growing up, they see you with a cell phone, and in their mind they see it as a toy. They don't understand that it's a device that you're using for communication or for other things. They see it as a toy. Now you use it to play games, and using it to play games is not that the phone is a toy, but the phone is a way to play games on. But the child that is very young, especially 5 years old and on, a matter of fact, let's take it between the age of 3 and 1. All right, anyone, well, three, let's say 6, I don't know, 6 months, no, maybe almost a year, 9 months. Okay, the baby, almost a year, you give the baby the cell phone to play with. You are using the cell phone. The baby is looking at you. The baby starts to cry, and you give the baby milk. The baby does not drink the milk. You give the baby titty. The baby don't want the titty. You give the baby the shake. The baby don't want you to shake, right? So you do all of that, right? You give the baby the shake. The baby don't want to use the shake, right? And what happened next? You give the baby the cell phone, and the baby is all quiet, nice and quiet, calm and collective, and all the baby is with the cell phone, looking at the cell phone, playing with the cell phone, shaking the cell phone, biting the cell phone, doing all these kind of things with the cell phone, and you are happy because the baby is now quiet. The baby is now focusing on something that keeps him or her occupied, and you are happy. Now that's bad parenting, plain and simple. But somebody gonna say, "Who are you to tell me how to raise my child?" I guarantee, I'm telling you, that's bad parenting right off the bat. Bad parenting. Well, who are you to tell me how to raise my child? My child do whatever I want. I raise my child however I want. Okay, later on in life, you will see what bad decision you are making. So there it is. The child sees the cell phone as a toy and not even as a device to communicate with others and so forth. So modeling their own behaviors after your behavior is unique and natural and normal. So in other words, modeling their own behavior, meaning the child learns what they see the parents do. Whatever you are doing, the child will learn that. The child will learn your behavior. The child will learn because your behavior is modeling to them how they should behave and what they should do when they grow up. And so that's what it is. All right. So if you always have a cell phone around your child, you always have a cell phone at your ears, you're always on the phone, the child will grow up learning that the cell phone is a toy or is a thing that I need and I can have and I can do whatever I want, play with it whenever I want to, and so forth. All right, so that's basically what it boils down to. All right, okay. All right, so whatever they see you have in your hand, they might possibly want it also, and the desire is to basically just play with it. All right, so now when we look at school, so let's go a little bit further now, and let's look at school. How does cell phone affects your child in school? How does cell phone affects your child in school? Because here's the deal, my friends. Um, School is a place of learning, and are they using the phone to learn? So now I believe what they might need to do is to develop a curriculum where the child can use the cell phone as part of the learning process. So what they need to do now, instead of having the laws or having the procedures where they want to take the cell phone away from the student, or they want to lock up the cell phone and give it back at the end of the day. Now we need to come up with curriculum, come up with a lesson where the cell phone is part of the lesson. And when we are able to reach that standard, when we are able to develop that type of curriculum, when we are able to develop this kind of learning method, then we will be able to address the child being responsible for their cell phone, with their cell phone. Students nowadays love to know that their cell phone are easily accessible. It is convenient for them to just go into their bag and pull it out and get on it. Now, when it's a part of their curriculum, you will have more students involved in the learning process. More students will be interested in learning what is being taught because now they are using the cell phone. You have cell phone with calculators. Now, if you as a teacher will walk around and supervise, making sure that the child is using the calculator, let alone, okay, most classrooms have only one teacher per 20 something or 30 something student. So you have to structure the classroom in a manner where you are in control as the teacher. And if the child is caught using the cell phone other than what is assigned, then that child know that the cell phone will be taken away from them for the duration of that period. So when you as a teacher set those rules, set those regulations or ground rules or routine, the child will understand, okay, my teacher is a nice teacher, a good teacher, a teacher that's going to allow me to use my cell phone. But if I get caught, it is my responsibility and my fault and not my friends or my teacher fault because I got caught. I broke the rule. I broke the regulation. If I'm supposed to be using the calculator and I'm texting somebody or I'm surfing and showing pictures and I get caught by the teacher because the teacher is walking around supervising the room and I'm caught, then I must bear the responsibility and I must bear the punishment So my phone will be taken away from me for the duration of the period. Now, if I don't want my phone to be taken away from me from the duration of the period, I'm going to follow instructions, because here I love my phone. Here I'm able to use my phone, and here I'm able to be happy with my phone. So that's what student needs in the classroom to be structured. Now, I'm not in the classroom anymore, so I can't implement that. And a matter of fact, I cannot implement that personally in my classroom unless I'm given the okay by the assistant principal or the principal of the school, because the principals of the school have their policies already. No cell phone use in the classroom, and many times students break that rule, and as a teacher you are afraid to report them, you're afraid to take away the cell phone. That's when you don't have control of the classroom. So if it's okay for the students to have the cell phone out, and the schools have no problem with that, fine. But if it's not okay, and you try to enforce the rule in your classroom, and the AP, the assistant principal, or the principal override what you're doing in your classroom, then you're going to lose control. Now, many times, many teachers don't worry about the school rule, but they take the chance of allowing certain students which are traumatized or special needs to use the phone or to be on the phone. And then there are students, like in my case, I'll be realistic and truthful. In my case, I work with special needs students, and even in my case, when I was a substitute teacher, some of the students were able to use their phones in the classroom, and I couldn't do anything about it. There was nothing I could do about it. Some of them hide to use it. Some of them would take it out and use it. We were listening to music. It was very hard to control them, because you always have to go be confrontational. When you go to the child to tell them to put the phone away or to stop, it becomes confrontational. They get upset. They get physical with you sometimes eventually, and then you are being what we call brought up on what's that word? You are being brought up on allegations. Okay, you're now being brought up on allegation just because you decide to enforce the rules in your classroom. And it was a challenge for me at times, but then there were other times where we worked it out with the students. We come to a common understanding. If the student wouldn't give any problem, wouldn't misbehave, we were able to negotiate or to compromise at times in order to keep order in the classroom. So it's very hard for teachers even today to keep order in their classroom when the rules are not clear from above, when the rules are not clear from the AP or the principal themselves, because sometimes the rules are not what we call reinforced. Okay, the rules are not reinforced, and most time the teachers get the blame. All right, so with all that said, I hope I've shed some light on the cell phone things with what's going on. It's a phenomena today. It's a wave. It's a movement. It's a pandemic. Cell phone is just like a pandemic throughout the educational system. A lot of schools are having challenges with this cell phone, and I'm suggesting, I don't know if any educator, any principal, any AP will hear what I'm saying here. Maybe I can put it out there, create a short clip of what I've just said. Implementing a curriculum where cell phones are being used as part of the learning process. If we are able to do that, then we are able to make progress. As a technologist, a technology education teacher, I was able to teach the different parts of computers. I was able to teach the different, when we had beepers back in the days. At one time we had beepers, and I was able to use the beeper as part of my educational learning process. All right, as part of my lesson, the beeper was the phones. Okay, they were phones that were landline phones. Was able to teach the student about the landline phones. We're able to teach them how to put a phone together. Remember back in the days as youths in school when we had industrial art, you were able to make a simulation in science of a telephone. You had two cans. We this is how we used to make it. We had two cans, one 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 can on each end of a line. So we had one can on each end of a line. We put a cord in between the can. So the middle of the can, a hole would be bored. So you bored a hole in the middle of a can. I wish I had something to demonstrate it. But you bored a hole in the middle of the can, and you will feed the cord through the inside of the can. And when you feed the cord through the inside of the can, you tie a knot. So you make a knot so that the cord would not be able to pull out or come out of the hole. And then you'll do the same thing at the other end of the cord with another can. Feed it through the can into the inside part of the can, and then both cans, you will stretch the cord apart, and you can speak in one can, and the other person will hear you inside of the other can. So you put one can at your ears, while the other person would put the other can at their mouth and speak. And when the person speaks, the can at your ears, you will hear what the person says. And that's how we used to demonstrate to the students technology, how we developed telephone, not so much cell phone, but telephone. So that was a form of toys for a lot of children when they were growing up, especially in the Caribbean. I believe they probably did it in Africa as well. You could do it with a box, but as long as the container is hollow, you are able to do that assimilation project, which is assimilating a telephone. Now, things has got so advanced that we are able to show them how to do binary communication, such as when you are on a ship or when you are in a place and you are trapped. You are able to use Morse code. So you're able to knock on something, and each knock would represent a letter or a word. And so with that, you are able to communicate. And even today, they still use that, because when the cell phone is gone, no power, no Wi-Fi, no nothing, you can't use it. But the old form of communication, you can use it, which is knocking. And so we learn all of that coming through. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for hanging out with me, for being here. It's Sterling in the morning, 917-455-3072 to reach me on WhatsApp. And you can also use that number to text me. 516-255-6747 is the actual studio number. I wish one day somebody would pick up the phone and give me a call. But nevertheless, I'm grateful for you checking out this video. I'm grateful for you being here and being a part of this program. And may God of our salvation continue to bless you and keep you and do you well in Jesus' name.
That's the way we deliver. Bible on me Blackberry, King James or the NIV, Gospel in a MP3. Play them till we done battery. Sermon on the new CD, preaching on Blu-ray DVD. What full of kids a memory must be my Bible study. Same scripture fast with 3G, inspiration with DB, Claro, DG, RB free. And if you're old school with the PA LP, Plasma or LCD, watch church one flat screen TV. One video game with Bishop TD. We play them on the PS3, Facebook or Twitter. We are gonna preach the gospel every perimeter. The enemy will run the rubbish and a litter. We are gonna endure till the end. We are no quitter. That's where we quitter. We are go preach the gospel every perimeter. The enemy go run with rubbish and a litter. We are go endure till the end. We are no quitter. Gospel where we deliver. God of the architect when I need TD, brain surgeon when I need CT, Mama when I need B3, stronger than the Terminator in a T3. Give me the Macar PC, make me spread the gospel with the EP. Preach it a Blair Church or a VT. Man need the word like best just RCD. Clean and it don't need PG. Favorite movie was never ET. Yo, just give me the passion of Christ, tell me.